Welcome to Utah's Fly Corner. I'm going to show you how to tie a little soft hackle fly I use for B.W.O hatches. Works really well. Swinging it or just putting a little bit of float on it or putting it in the surface. But I've had some really great days swinging this fly during B.W.O hatches. Thread I'm going to be using is Uni Light Olive 8.0. The hook I like to tie them on is a Dotch 1550. That way it's got a little bit of, it's a standard wire hook, so you can float them, but they do have enough weight that if you throw it out there, it can make it sink. But tying on a size 16, I generally tie them size 16s, 18s. 14s work as well, but I seem to have the best luck with size 16. So I'm going to get started. I'll start my thread up here by the eye. Not completely at the eye. Just run a nice even layer of thread back down to about the barb. Break your tag off or snip it off. The tail on it's pheasant tail. I like the darker natural pheasant tail. I mean, you can go with the lighter. I've been forced into using that because I couldn't find the darker shade, but I do like the darker shade better. It's a little more better modeling of the colors. But I want a tail that's about half the hook shank. Don't want nothing big. Want that to be on top. I offer it to my side. Let my thread torque carry it on over. It's a little short. Go back. That's about better. I'm just going to do one turn to hold it on. Don't cut this off. Just leave that on. Then I'm going to tie my wire. My wire's extra small UTC. Now my next turn here goes right in front of my last one. Get this guy out of my way. I can check I want the distance on my wire to come up to about a little bit into the thorax area. Just want to take nice touching turns. Take your time. Get everybody tied in. You don't want the wire to roll around on you. Try to keep that on top. Come up, just leave your pheasant tail there. And rib the wire. I have to do pretty close wraps and open them up as I go. Spread them out. And as I come up, I catch my wire, cross my wire, and holding the thread tight, put a 90-degree bend in it. Now before I wrap down the wire, I take my next turn with those pheasant tail fibers back, and what I'm doing is tying down the wire, going down on my side of the hook. I'm going to hold my thread tight. I'm just going to bend and break that off. I'm just going to level the playing field out here a little bit with the thread. Now this is going to be your thorax material. I like to snip the butts off because they kind of just hinder the wrapping process. I'm going to wrap that the same way I wrap my thread. I'll wrap it back a little bit. And forward. It can get a little short on you, so you might have to just work with it. Cross my thread. 2 wraps, 3 wraps. Through one on the shank, throw another one over. Just make sure you get that pheasant tail tied in nice. Clip that off. Now you could wrap this a little bit further too. I've actually tied this fly before as well and used it, and it works pretty well. Is wrap that a little bit more forward, the pheasant tail, than just put a head on it and leave it like that. and it actually works really well. The tail can even come off, and just makes a pretty nice midge pattern. But then I'm going to put partridge hackle on it. This is a Kovacs feather, or I mean a shoulder feather. I already stripped the fluff off of it. I measured the hackle fibers. I want them to extend past the tail just by a little bit, not too much. That's how I like it. You can tie them short, long. It doesn't really seem to, fish don't really seem to care with this one. Let me catch that tip in. I like to stroke those guys back before I turn that tip. Get one turn over it. You can hold the thread tight and just break that tip out of there. I prefer to just come in with the scissors and snip it out. Get your thread in position, ready to go. I like to wet my fingers a little bit. Stroking back and pulling up. Stroke back, pull up. Just getting that in position. Dry my fingers off a little bit. As I come around, as I wrap around, I place my finger on it so it's holding it in place. And I can grab the stem. And I place my thumb on it, holding it in place. Bring my finger around. Now my finger's got it. I'm going to bring my thread up and grab the stem. There. I'm going to bring the stem down, tying it in. Got one wild one here. Just break them off. I just like to sweep everything back. Come on up. Don't wrap on top of your wraps of partridge. And just hold the thread tight and break that stem off. And you can take a look before you finish her off. Make sure you're happy. Didn't like that one, so I just break them off. And then go right into the whip finish. Tighten her up. Get the thread out of there. If you got any ones you don't like, you can always chop them off, or just rip them off. But that's basically the fly. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of Sally Henson's on the head. Just gussy up the head a little bit. Not that it needs it. With a whip finish, you don't really need head cement whatsoever. As long as you did a nice tight whip. Did a nice tight whip, it'll never come undone. I mean, the tooth really has to hit it in just the right spot. I mean, that's $1 million shot for that to come undone. But, with the Sally's on there, you know, give it a little bit of shine. Add a little more flash, so to say. But that's the fly. It's a little B.W.O emerger. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I've had great success with this fly. Twist them up. They'll serve you well during B.W.O time. Just swing them in those riffles, and you'll be hooking fish. I'm Johnny Utah. Check me out on my site, www.utahsflycorner.com. Thanks for watching.